The warm glow of a setting sun bathed the land in hues of gold and amber. The air was alive with the hum of nature. Branches swayed in rhythm with a gentle breeze, and the scent of blossoms mingled with the earthy aroma of the soil. This was Eden, a masterpiece, painted by the Creator's own hand. Yet, this was no ordinary paradise. It was the first sanctuary, unmarred by time or sin, pulsing with life and purpose. At its heart stood Adam, a figure of strength and curiosity. His frame was sculpted from the earth itself, and his breath carried the essence of the divine. His days were filled with exploration, joy, and wonder, but within him lingered a quiet ache, a sense that something was missing. This was a loneliness even the symphony of creation could not fill. One evening, as twilight settled over Eden, the Creator approached Adam in the cool of the garden. His presence was like a stillness, commanding reverence. "It is not good for man to be alone," the Creator said, his voice deep and resonant, echoing with wisdom and compassion. Adam felt a surge of anticipation as the Creator instructed him to rest. As sleep overcame him, the Creator's hands moved with precision and care. From Adam's side, he fashioned a companion, her form elegant and radiant, bearing a beauty that harmonized with the garden itself. When Adam awoke and saw her, awe lit his eyes. "This, at last, is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh," Adam declared, his voice filled with wonder. "She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." Eve met his gaze, her expression mirroring his. Though they were strangers, an unspoken bond tied them together. They were two parts of the same story, crafted for companionship, for unity. Days in Eden unfolded like pages in a perfect storybook. Adam and Eve explored their world, marveling at its wonders. Majestic rivers wove through the land, nourishing its lush vegetation. Animals of every kind walked beside them, docile and unafraid, their vibrant forms a living testament to the Creator's ingenuity. At the garden's center stood two trees of peculiar beauty. One bore fruit that glittered like gold under the sunlight, the tree of life. The other was shrouded in an aura of mystery, its dark branches stretching skyward, as if defying the heavens. This was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. "From every tree in the garden you may freely eat," the Creator had said, his words echoing in Adam's memory. "But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die." Adam had shared this solemn instruction with Eve, and together they had agreed to obey. Yet, the forbidden tree held an allure they could not fully understand. Its fruit shimmered with an unnatural light, whispering of secrets unknown. One morning, as Eve wandered near the center of the garden, her gaze lingered on the forbidden tree. She marveled at its fruit, so vibrant it seemed to pulse with life. A voice, smooth and serpentine, broke the tranquility. Did God actually say, "You shall not eat of any tree in the garden"? The question slithered into her mind, like a shadow. Startled, Eve turned to see a serpent coiled among the branches. Its eyes glowed with an unsettling intelligence, and its voice carried a strange charm. "We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden," Eve replied cautiously, "but God said, 'You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.'" Yes. The serpent's lips curled into a semblance of a smile. "You will not surely die," it hissed, "for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve's heart quickened. She glanced back at the fruit, her thoughts a swirl of curiosity and hesitation. Could the serpent be right? Was there something the Creator was withholding? Back at their dwelling, Adam worked with his hands, shaping a shelter for the animals that needed care. When Eve approached, holding the fruit, his brow furrowed. "Eve, what have you done?" he asked, his voice laced with concern. "It is not as we feared," she replied, her tone tinged with conviction. "The serpent said it would open our eyes, and I feel alive in a way I never did before." Adam hesitated. He loved Eve deeply, and the thought of being separate from her filled him with dread. Against his better judgment, he took the fruit and bit into it. Its sweetness turned bitter as it slid down his throat, and a chill settled over the garden. The change was immediate. Their eyes were opened, but instead of enlightenment, they felt exposed. Shame clung to them like a second skin. They hurried to cover themselves, weaving garments of fig leaves to hide their nakedness. The vibrant joy of Eden was replaced by an oppressive silence, the air heavy with foreboding. As the evening fell, the familiar sound of the Creator's footsteps echoed through the garden. Adam and Eve, gripped by fear, hid among the trees. But the Creator's voice called out, filled with sorrow. "Where are you?" Adam stepped forward reluctantly. "I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, so I hid." "Who told you that you were naked?" the Creator asked, his voice heavy with disappointment. "Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat?" Adam shifted uneasily. "The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me fruit of the tree, and I ate." The Creator turned to Eve. "What is this that you have done?" Eve's voice trembled. "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Grief etched itself into the Creator's face as he pronounced the consequences of their actions. "To the serpent," he said, "because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." To Eve, he said, "I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." To Adam, he said, "Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return." The once bright garden grew dim as the weight of their actions bore down on Adam and Eve. They watched as the Creator made garments of animal skins to clothe them, an act of mercy in the midst of judgment. Before leading them out of Eden, the Creator stationed cherubim and a flaming sword to guard the tree of life, ensuring they could not eat of its fruit and live forever in their fallen state. Hand in hand, Adam and Eve walked into the unknown, their hearts heavy yet hopeful. Though Eden was behind them, they carried within them a promise, a seed of redemption whispered by the Creator in the midst of the curse. The story of Eden challenges us to reflect on choices, obedience, and the weight of consequences. It's a tale that resonates with our own struggles and the hope of redemption. What would you do if faced with the same choice? Share your thoughts, and let's explore these timeless truths together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating retellings of the stories that shaped our world.